According to Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas, Hamas does not represent the Palestinian people. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas' words have had significant ramifications at a time when tensions in the area are gradually growing. Abbas emphasized the humanitarian crisis that the Palestinian people are going through and urged Israel to stop attacking Gaza right away and set up urgent humanitarian routes. These statements shed light on the tough conditions endured by the Palestinian people, particularly in light of the recent cessation of bloodshed between Israel and Palestine as well as the severe shelling of the Gaza Strip. According to Abbas' words, the Palestinian people are experiencing difficult times and require immediate aid. The Palestinian president does not believe Hamas is capable of representing Palestine in this fight. This demonstrates the diverse perspectives of Palestinian leaders and reflects Palestine's political pluralism. Dekriti Abbas' call against Israel is consistent with the regional international community's belief that further humanitarian assistance and diplomatic measures to resolve the crisis are required. The protection of civilians and the delivery of humanitarian aid are especially critical. All of these efforts, however, demonstrate the necessity for greater international cooperation in order to alleviate tensions in the region and establish long-term peace. Future developments will be closely observed because the resolution of the dispute between Palestine and Israel, as well as the establishment of peace, are critical for the entire globe. The fact that Mahmoud Abbas isolated the Palestinian people from Hamas was a significant development in the context of inter-Palestinian political dynamics and conflict. The Palestinian political scene is a complicated web of relationships between many factions, parties, and leaders. This decision by Mahmoud Abbas may have occurred after Hamas launched rockets from Gaza into Israel. Although Abbas did not support the attacks, he urged the international community to do more to address the Palestinian people's humanitarian needs and put an end to the violence. The internal political competition in Palestine reflects the breakup of the Palestine Liberation Organization, PLO, and Hamas. Because of ideological disagreements between the two groups and historical conflicts, Palestinian politics have been deconstructed. As a result, Mahmoud Abbas' decision to leave Hamas alone can be seen as a political move. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas' words on Israel's attacks on Gaza and the humanitarian crisis in Gaza paint a startling picture of the region's changes. This crucial phone chat between Abbas and Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro underscored the Palestinian people's tough circumstances and expressed the urgent need for humanitarian aid. During the discussion, Abbas demanded that Israel end its bombing of Gaza immediately. Palestinians should be protected, and humanitarian supply corridors should be open to Gaza, as well as water, electricity, and fuel given to residents, he stated. For many years, the Gaza Strip has been under embargo. This embargo has caused significant challenges to the civilian population of Gaza's everyday lives, basic needs, and health care. The recent Israeli attacks on Gaza have exacerbated the already difficult living circumstances for civilians. These speeches by Mahmoud Abbas are meant to convey to the international audience the scope of the humanitarian situation in Gaza and the challenges faced by the Palestinian people. The provision of basic essentials, including water, power, and gasoline, as well as civilian protection and the development of humanitarian corridors, are critical to relieving this situation. These words by Abbas stress the importance of the international community taking these harsh conditions encountered by the Palestinian people into account and accelerating the search for diplomatic options to resolve the crisis. These developments further highlight the international ramifications of the Palestinian-Israeli conflict and the region's humanitarian catastrophe. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas's fight against forced migration from Gaza has historical and humanitarian significance. Abbas refers to this forced migration attempt as the Second Nakba, which brings up painful memories of the Palestinian people's past. The term Nakba, Great Tragedy, alludes to the deportation of over 700,000 Palestinians during the founding of Israel in 1948. According to Mahmoud Abbas, the forced migration of people from Gaza will serve as a reminder of this awful historical event. Abbas is vehemently opposed to civilian deaths on all sides of the war. The goal is to keep innocent people from footing the cost of the conflict and to focus efforts on attaining peace. The plea for the liberation of detainees, prisoners, and civilians underscores the need for the party to use a humanitarian approach and abide by humanitarian law. These declarations by Mahmoud Abbas demonstrate the Palestinian leader's commitment to peace and determination to preserve Palestinian rights. Abbas anticipates international help to resolve the crisis and guarantee that all parties uphold humanitarian norms. According to Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas, Hamas does not have the authority to represent the Palestinian people. This circumstance represents a significant shift in Palestine's political dynamics. Abbas openly lambasted Hamas and underlined the importance of peace and a political solution, claiming that only a political solution will end the occupation. According to Mahmoud Abbas' declaration, the Palestine Liberation Organization, PLO, is the only genuine representative of the Palestinian people, and this organization defends Palestinian rights. With this comment, Abbas emphasized that he does not regard Hamas as a political opponent but also as a political actor, citing the PLO as Palestine's legitimate representative. From Gaza, a comprehensive onslaught against Israel began on October 7. The Izz-ad-Din al-Qassam Brigade's Hamas military wing announced the attack as Aqsa del November. Thousands of rockets have been launched from Gaza into Israeli territory, raising regional tensions. The Beit Hanun Erez border crossing on the Gaza-Israel border was also crucial to the events. Palestinian armed factions seized and took this border crossing. This showed how violence was progressing in key Gaza-Israel border areas. Residents and the global community watched with concern as the violence escalated. De Kraus has continued worldwide efforts to end the fighting and bring peace to the region. However, armed groups entered Israeli settlements from here, and hundreds of Israeli jets attacked Gaza. After snatching the bait at an Erez border crossing, armed militants have infiltrated Israeli neighborhoods, causing panic. In an emergency, Israel launched a massive onslaught on Gaza with hundreds of bombers and troops. These events had severe effects. Gaza attacks on Israel have killed and injured thousands of Israelis. Cities and neighborhoods were destroyed. Israel suffered a horrific calamity. Gazan strikes killed 1,300 Israelis and injured 3,436, according to reports. Israeli bombings killed 2,670 people and injured 9,600 in Gaza, according to the Palestinian Ministry of Health. The Palestinian Ministry of Health presented alarming data. Tens of thousands of innocent people have been killed and injured by Israel's and Gaza's attacks. Every murder or injury signifies a family's loss and the community's anguish. It is hard to describe how terrible these occurrences are for humanity. These tragedies have hurt Palestinians, Israelis, and humanity's conscience. Journalist attacks have also grown. Working in a dangerous environment where journalists report the facts and share them with the world is awful. In the West Bank, Israeli soldiers and Jewish settlers killed 56 Palestinians and injured 619, the report said. 9 journalists died in Gaza and 1 in Lebanon. Atrocities like these require a swift international response to protect peace and human rights. De Croo believes human life and peace are more essential than anything else and that worldwide action is needed to end these tragedies.